Alright. Hello everyone, I am Ratman Horatio, and we're playing Skul the Hero Slayer today because I've played enough Rise for a hot minute that I need a change of pace in my life. Variety is the spice of life. And full disclosure, off stream I went and I did some of the side quests to go collect Aeonic Coal and Bismuth Prisms, and it was spectacularly boring. And yeah, it made me realize that maybe it's time to take a short reprieve from Rise. So we're coming over to Skul the Hero Slayer, an indie game made by Southpaw Games. You won't have to worry about any spoilers to the story because I've already beat it. I collected the NPCs and, well, it's just, at this point I'm doing casual runs to grind out item unlocks, and I'd figure I'd share these runs. I was introduced to Skul by a friend of mine, and I figured by taking a more casual approach to the game and streaming it for funsies, perhaps I could impart something from it. I already got all the upgrades. I ground these when I was playing alone off stream. Okay, we got Mage and Carleon. Skeleton Pike we can take. We're gonna drop Mage, because the items we have do not lend ourselves to being magical. Although I say that, it doesn't exactly mean anything. Well, that was close. What? I'm taking unnecessary damage. Fantastic start. It's kind of what I've come to expect for myself. In Skul the Hero Slayer, you must defeat all enemies that have spawned on a map in order to proceed. Normally the cursor disappears. I'm not sure why it hasn't this time around, but we'll just move it off to the side. Okay. I unironically like the Carleon recruit for some reason. They're interesting. And this opens up some interesting potential synergies, so we'll take them for now. We'll replace the I didn't see them. Damn, assassin. Alright, this will give us a permanent buff for the rest of the run, I think. What are you giving me? Crit rate? You love to see it. Frost Skull. This is interesting, but it's worth 11 bones, so I'm just gonna liquidate it and move on. Don't ask me why that worked. Alright, shop has... What is this? Mysterious apparatus using skill increases attack speed. That's rapidity. Medusa. I'm gonna grab this because I need to do it to unlock it. More importantly, that does open some interesting avenues when it comes to rapidity. Arms is a welcome sight. Getting heirloom this early is also might be nice. It'll help me save a lot of health by allowing me to eat an occasional hit. I don't have a power skull, so it's mildly inefficient to grab the giant's axe. But I still get that 40% power increase, which is really nice. You know what? We're gonna grab the giant's axe. I should probably just grab Ring of the Wing. The increased attack and movement speed is really, really nice, but well, the heritage is there too. Decisions. And I don't care about those. I could wildcard this and, you know, reroll. What did you give me? Hidden Blade. Not bad. Alright, I should probably grab the Rapid Sword of the Subconscious, but I'm going to grab the Standard Issue Carlian Armor, because that synergizes with the Carlian Insignia, giving me money. So, that should eventually, in quotation marks, pay for itself. First adventure site. We got the Priestess, Saintess. I despise you. Werewolf is interesting. Sick Joke is interesting, but Golden Sword is a welcome sight. Because Golden Sword will give me quite a bit of damage. Because I'm going to have to spend money this run. Nah, okay, we're taking Golden Sword. Take the upgrade. I don't have enough to upgrade again, it costs 30. That is some nice damage. Ah, since we've upgraded, the assassin doesn't instantly disappear. He hangs out and actually does things now. We got 2 levels of Assassin. I didn't realize until now. Money. Oh. Dark Paladin. Do we want to take a Dork Paladin? We're still very early in the run, so it might be interesting. We have a smidge, a tiny miniature lick of magic damage. And I think taking Dark Paladin is an interesting thing we could do. I do like their abilities. Yeah, that Dark Wave damage is pretty good. Alright, I have a choice. This will lead me to money. This will give me the option of 3 items. I have the recycler, so I'm going to go to the items, so I get a choice. Oh, that's nice. Right, I've recycler, and that means taking the item room over the money room is definitely worth it. Because it can either add to my build. That is very tempting, right out the gate. Sage time. I'm still very early in the run, so getting masterwork is definitely plausible. But kendo stick. I'm just gonna take kendo stick. Super spicy noodles. That's even more attack speed, which is very, very tempting. The ancient incense burner is also interesting in its own way. Nah. None of these really call out to me. Well, there's the start of the Oberon run. Shadow Spirit Death. You get 5 fairy tales, and you get this Spirit King Oberon, and he's fun. Wildly overpowered, but fun. And I spent too much money. Whoops. Warrior's Pauldrons would have been nice. None of these really were what I needed. I probably should have picked up Broken Dagger, but hindsight is what it is. Oh, bastard. Alright, I definitely have enough for this guy. I can just toss him some money and he'll give me an item. That does count as arms and rapidity. Looks like I'm doing arms and rapidity today. Gargoyle. No. Gargoyle isn't bad, but it doesn't bring enough to the table for me to justify to use it. I should have taken it and broken down Dark Paladin because I'm not running magic, but hey. I like what I like. Dark Paladin's gonna have an easier time doing the first phase. There we go. Dark Paladin is really good, and I should probably try building into it instead of what I am doing. However, I'm spectacularly dumb, and I don't want to. Killavan. And Spirit. Ogre. Ogre's interesting. Although I could grab Priest Staff and start building heavily into Fortress. I have zero incentive to take Elder Ant's Gratitude, because it's... No. And I don't care about any of these other quintessences. Priest Staff. I do have a point of Fortress, so I could go... that one helmet, that's a Goblin Slayer reference, and the old Priest Staff, and I would then be pretty safe for quite a while. I'm actively avoiding Oberon, because Oberon is just, it's too easy on normal mode. This is good. I've never gotten a Priest Staff's kind of thing to work. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna keep an eye out for that that helmet, and If we find it, we'll take it. If we don't, well, we don't. Because of my hubris, we can't upgrade the skull, so... My sense of timing is awful. Ooh, genie. No. Well... no. I'm not a fan of genie. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying I don't like it. Alright, we got some interesting stuff here. Masterpiece, Crown of Thorns. Ooh. Alright, Pain and Despair is interesting. That'll give me Hidden Blades and Rapidity. I mean, at this point. Yeah. Sorry, Mild curiosity. There's that helmet, the one I was specifically talking about. Knight's Determination decreases incoming damage when your health is below 30%. And with the old Priest Staff, well, the Priest Staff, you slowly restore HP when you have less than 30% health. So you get this weird combo. Alright, I'll lose that on spoils, but... well, no, I could drop the Hidden Blade. But I just got it. I really don't care about Hidden Blade, however. What's this? Doomsday! Create an apocalypse every 44 seconds. Reduce all skill cooldowns by 5 seconds. Triggers an explosion after 11 seconds, dealing fixed damage. The explosion damage is proportional. Interesting. I don't have enough to afford it, so I'm without. Slime. Slime is very interesting. If you get enough quintessence cooldown, you can infinitely go into the nonsense, into slime. Ugh. We'll dump the Carlian Amulet for now. We'll take Knight's Determination. Knight's Determination synergizes very strongly with the Priest Staff. This gives me a point of arms, which is very interesting. I'm not running any power skulls at the moment. But it's still physical, so it would still benefit from the 50% increased physical attack power. $25 and 10. Well, that's just attack speed. But this does give me damage amp. Do I want to say that I'm built and I just need quintessences and... I'm lost in thought, I apologize. The deep thinking. We're gonna pick up slime. And we're gonna move on. Fantastic. Go get him, assassin. I believe in you. Please be something interesting. I'm really bad at dealing with the spear enemies. Don't ask me why. Frost Skull. Freezing Field is interesting, but it's not what I want. Okay, we're gonna go in with this. Okay, so we got thighs and hero. I didn't hit the hit there. I didn't need to take that hit. Ooh, Mage's Necklace. This is interesting if you still have Skull, because you can use this to rapidly put out the fire, the burning orbs, by throwing your Skull and then picking it back up, and then immediately throwing it again. This does not do the synergies that I would like, and it's also magic, so... money. Lunar Ring. Battle Totem. Alright, so... I'm now at a difficult point where I must decide whether I want to save up and upgrade Ninja to whatever it upgrades into, or continue upgrading the Summoner Boy. I'm actually going to upgrade the Summoner, because, yes. It's only 30. I hope I find a reroller. Unfortunate. Go get him, lads. I believe in you. Ninja is really good. I say that, but it's serviceable for my needs. Ow. If I hadn't gotten squad member recruit, I would probably be having a better time with my, Rider. Nope. We're going to continue to pursue skulls to get bone fragments. Because I have a mighty need. Oh, that maid just exploded for some reason. Okay, I was curious to see if that would, Oh good, that kills. If I had something like, excessive bleeding... I'm so spectacularly tempted. As for why I'm spectacularly tempted, the Minotaur is very strong. They are very good. They can get very, very powerful. The normal attack is not great, but later on when they upgrade... What in the world is that? Stigma leg. Guaranteed crits is very interesting. No, I think not. Troll does have my interest, however. Thorny boots. Slime is really good, but I'm not building for Quintessence. And, yeah. This does open up some interesting options, Troll. Damage isn't great. But it is rapid. I feel like I need bleed or burn or something to really make the make this shine. I made an oopsie. I need to remember that there's a, you dive downward whenever you do an aerial with the, ninja. Right. Hunter. Hunter isn't in the best spot right now. It's not terrible, but it's, I don't know how to properly explain it. All I will say is that, if you can use Hunter well, it is a sign of your skill. There's no skipping this cutscene. I have to deal with the twins. I have Troll, however, so as long as I can stay alive and land my big hits, this will be fine. Ah! Whoops. I miscalculated and wasted Troll. Alright, that's... was not a very good fight. I did pretty poorly. And I guess that highlights the, outstanding issue of what do you give me? Relic and arms. You're interesting. The issue of what I wanted to do works if you're not as terrible at this game as I am. Explosive Arrow has some interesting synergies. Pauldrons might not be bad. But I'm going to take the Prince's box, because this has 2 things on it that I want in my life. And that takes me to Relic 2 and Arms 4. I'm sad that this Pain and Despair is Hidden Blade and Rapidity, not Hidden Blade and Arms or Rapidity and Arms. Understandable, however. Alright, so next on the chopping block, I guess, is Distorted Curved Sword. Yes. But standard issue Carlion armor. The damage resistance is nice. It isn't necessary, however. For both of my skulls, I need 100 bones. Oh, Full disclosure, I missed that there was a, one of the explodey guys in the mists. Harpy Knightess. Knight will give me bones. And I'm here for that. Stop tempting me with Minotaur. I really like Minotaur. I hate to say it, but we need to leave the halfling girl in the cage. If I were to release her now, she wouldn't appear for the rest of the run. But if I leave her in there, she might appear again later on, when I really need it. Which is spectacularly messed up to say, but... my love for you is like a truck berserker. Bone Scream skill, based on the amount of HP lost, amplifies physical attack by updates, and increases attack speed by 50%. I mean... I've never used Berserker before. I guess there's a first time for everything. I'm sorry, Carlian officer. I have a need. Well, would you look at that? Clown. Clown is an interesting thing. No. I like Thief Armor, but for the wrong reasons. Well, there's the solar sword. If I had taken the moon thing earlier, I'd have that out of the way. All right, it's a shame, but we're gonna drop the distorted curved sword now. I'll miss the crit rate, but I swear this is necessary. I'm not gonna reroll again. It's too expensive. I don't need food. I could still eat. And Hydra. Guaranteed crits are a powerful thing. You know what? We're going to take Hydra. Troll is nice. But we're not going to do that right now. Ooh. That is not what I expected. Alright. I'm happy with the abilities I have now. I don't need to re-roll the ninja. I missed out on some enemies, which means I missed out on some money. I'm incredibly tempted to just full swap over to full power, take Berserker, take Warrior. But no, I've already... My feet tread the path. Behold, the Hydra. You're not who I was after. Wow, they did not have a lot of money. Harpy, Bone of Courage. We could... I'm desperate enough for bones that I'm gonna do this. Alright, let's upgrade Berserker. Because I've never seen upgraded Berserker, so let's see what Berserker turns into. Do they get a second sword? Devil Berserker. That is spicy. And that is some extreme damage with really good attack speed. That is some absurd damage. Ooh, ah. Berserker, you shouldn't have. Alright, we don't have a skull for an option, so we're gonna take the item room. I've not seen this room before. No, damn it. Hello, phone. Now is not the time. Wheel! I can become a wheel man. I'm not going to, however. There's Wind Spirit Sylphid. I wonder if I could have had, what's it called by now? If I could have had, Oberon. Alright, platforming with a single dash is, not the greatest. I'm walking off the edge, which is eating my additional jump, which is not what I'm intending to do, and I'm just hemorrhaging health at this point. Gambler. That is interesting, but that is also a not insignificant number of bones, which is a welcome sight. Will you... No, you won't line of sight here. Mummy can be interesting. Not what I want right now. Clone stamp? 2 inscriptions of the same kind. That's just... Ooh. No, but... Ooh. Prisoner. Prisoner can be very interesting, but that's not what I want. Inner Malice. I think we'll re-roll twice, looking for anything that strikes the fancy. You know, I've changed my mind. We're gonna grab the food to heal up. I know, playing as Berserker into healing, but... I think I need to replace Ninja. It goes. How are you today, Tower? I'm sorry, I swear, I'm okay. How goes the slaying? Slaying's going fine. I decided to do some Skul the Hero Slayer for a change of pace. I don't want to get too burnt out on, Rise. Because off-stream, I went and I did the little collecting missions for the Bismuth Prisms and the Aeonic Coal, and it was... It reminded me of some of the issues I had with the game. Rockstar. Doing well, being a lab rat at work. Testing new systems or something else entirely. That cooldown's a little aggressive. Alright, I hate to say it, but we're gonna hang out for a second here and let the Devil Cry come off cooldown. Bone of the Devil. Oh, that takes health. Well, that explains why I'm so not good. You're a manufacturing technician at a biolab, so right now you're building sets. Interesting. Are you under NDA to not discuss what those sets are, or...? NDA and government clearance. Oh yeah, that's how it goes. Really? They're gonna hit me with Light Spirit? I should have done a magic run. Well, it is what it is. We're already too far into this run to change anything now. I could pivot, but that would be one hell of a pivot. Hydra is really boring. Wisp doesn't... Well, no. Wisp... And all your skills and rotation cooldowns will be reset. I could use that to force reset the Devil Bone. But that's still 10% of my health every time I turn it on, so... Perhaps not. However, no. But... no. You recently managed to build a Geismagorm set to suit your greatsword with a 520 raw. So you're going to be giving it to the monsters raw and not so wriggling. We're gonna take Fire Dragon. Alright, we'll use, we'll upgrade Ninja here. What Ninja upgrades into, I actually don't know. Ninja Master. Flash Rampage is fine, that's normal. Create 10 mirror images in front of a random enemy. The mirror images perform a mutilating attack, dealing physical damage. Interesting. Oh, I get different abilities in the air. Oh, that is... That's weird. You can shave off a lot of time when your hunt's getting close to 1 to 2 minute hunts. So at what point in Monster Hunter Rise are you going to get to the point where you're spending more time in load screens? Because... I guess that's a hardware constraint, but you seem to be rapidly approaching that point. Your friends have 40-second hunts on some monsters, which is insane, but you don't think you'll get there using full sets like you are. You never know. Maybe during one of the content drops, they'll add a new monster that completely breaks the game in some way, shape, or form. You know? 422, 422, 422. We'll eat the bone of madness. I could check for items and adjust my build, but I'm not happy with where my build is. But I'm basically just placated at this point. You know? Like, my build could be better. Could be worse. Chaotic Gore Magala? What happened? Oh, did they mess something up with Chaotic Gore Magala when they initially put him in? And they had to tone it down? Right, we're gonna check items. I'm happy in quotes with what I have. Let's see. Knight's Determination has reared its head once again. I'm still tempted to take it. Heritage. No, that doesn't do anything for me. The Rapidity, however. So I have this for the Rapidity, and using skill increases attack speed 20% for 30 seconds. Your normal attacks create waves of mysterious force that deal physical damage. I could. I did it once, you know. I could do it again. That would make... I know, but with the right decorations, you can easily stay in Berserk mode the whole time and boost the damage of the bow to insane levels. It also works on dual blades, sword and shield, and lance. Fascinating. 240. This is some serious hubris. I hope it doesn't bite me. That damage is pretty extreme on Berserker, and I love it. Spiritual Coffee. Well, that doesn't help me at the moment. Evil Eye... Nope. What? The game really wanted me to do an Oberon run. It's just like, hey, you're not at the last shop yet. Here are two fairy tale items. Come on, what's to worry about? Just take it. Taste the power. Alright, all I want from here is to consume that quintessence, and we're moving on. Sure, I could re-roll and check for items, but I am, in quotes, happy with my build. What I've got. I hate the priests. Ah. Hubris be thy name. I thought he died to the wheel, not managed to actually get that throw off. Use it on your sword and shield, but greatsword is too slow, so anything less than perfect play would get you killed. Using dare instead of bolster your damage and going full raw instead of crit for greatsword. I see. I recognize some of those words, as I haven't gotten that far in Rise yet. Ah, you bastards. Axe. Oh, good, that hit. Alchemist. Alchemist is very strong. On a magic build, I'm not magical. Okay. Not the archer. Oh, it's this bitch. Cleric. Are you a cleric? I took unnecessary damage in that fight. Nope. Evil Eye is nothing to me. And I don't need the bones anymore. I don't need to upgrade anything. Hi, Spider. Bye, Spider. We're still going into the skeleton rooms, the bone rooms, to see if they pick up, if there's any, anything worth mentioning. My skill cooldown isn't spectacular. Could reroll my skills. Not going to, but I could. Living armor. No. No, we're not doing that today. Well, I say today, but right now. Fantastic. We've got hostiles. Nope, bye. Man, going from like balanced, no, going from speed to power is such a jarring change. All right, we'll go into the item room, see if there's anything here. Those statues can curse me to take more damage, and no thank you. Same with these little bastards, but... Also, damn, those thunderbolts have a high hitbox. Misfortune and Brawl. Arms. That'd be the last level of arms. Crits cause an explosion. Antique is max HP. I could sacrifice Antique for the final level of arms. I could also sacrifice Relic, but Relic is healing. I could sacrifice Rapidity, but attack speed is really nice. I feel conflicted. Gunpowder Sword is just generally an interesting and fun weapon. It's just, well, not fun weapon, but fun item. No, we're not going to run this. We're fine. Hey, the Gunpowder Sword. Also, hey, the game desperately wants me to go, it desperately wants me to do an Oberon build. That's Imp. Attack speed. I'm tempted, but I'm not going to. I'm happy, in quotes, with my items. There were the imps for a brief moment. We're going to consume the imps for max HP. Desperate Fairy King deprivation. It's really weird that the game is just like, here, please. Here are all the pieces you need to make Good King Oberon. Ah, bastard. Alright, I could sacrifice some health in order to get another skull, but I don't need it. Rear blast? Nope. Nope. And no. Hemorrhaging life points. Alright, I'm not in a good place right now. My health isn't particularly high. And we're going into the boss. Alright. The question is, do I burn Bone of the Devil right out of the gate and use it to get to Phase 2 very quickly? Or do I save it for Phase 2 because Phase 2 is, in heavy quotes, the hard part? Let's save it for Phase 2 and hopefully things go well. Excellent. Alright, we're going to burn 10% of our health here in order to make sure that we unalive this entity. There we go. Archdemon, I really should have gone a magic build this time around. How would you like some magic? No? How about a little more? Every single item from this boss chest, except arguably 2, are strictly magical. Master Fighter can work on magic builds, and this is just a jack of all trades. I'm taking it because it's really powerful, but my goodness. Hello, spider. Goodbye, spider. Oh, well, there's Samurai. If there was... Alright, hear me out. If there was a, what's the word? Rosary. If there was a spider up ahead, I would probably take Samurai at this point. I'd replace Berserker with Samurai, and then I just upgrade Samurai, and I'd be all speed. I think this is the last shop of the game, so I might as well spend most of my money. We bought Succubus so that I can break it down for even more health. What? Alright, final boss time. Final boss has 3 phases in normal mode that I'm playing on. There is, first phase. Alright, that's phase 1, and I am hurt. Nope, I died. Well, that's phase 2 down. And time for final phase. I probably shouldn't have burned Devil Bone when I did. Should have saved it for this. However, well, too late. Phase 3, easy. And, easy win, boys. There are still a bunch of items that I have to unlock, and I'm still uncertain as to whether I want to... Right, sorry, I had to cough mid-sentence. I'm uncertain as to whether I want to continue playing on normal mode to continue unlocking items, or if I want to start moving into the mirror dimension to face the greater challenges. As a bit of a tradition, we're going to let the end credits play. A number of people worked very, very hard on this game, and they deserve to have some recognition for their work. And as this is an indie title, there isn't 2 minutes of game devs and 20 minutes of lawyers. I suppose we can take this opportunity to reflect. Take a moment, how everyone's day was, and... yeah. What? Spokesman of the Mist, unknown. I suppose that tracks? Ah, clever, clever. You know, all things considered, there could have been more people developing the game, and there could have been fewer people developing the game. It's just kind of how it goes, though. I suppose I'll take this moment to remind chat that there are sound alerts. If you're watching on mobile, at the top of your chat box, there is a chat message icon with headphones on. If you click on that, or touch it, it'll bring up the chat commands. Well, not chat commands, but the sound alerts. Some of them are very, very loud. You're going to hear me plug my phone in a moment. Don't worry, that's my computer, not yours. Again, my computer, not yours. Probably. Alright, this is where the backers are. So we're gonna fast forward through the donation list. Actually, we don't need to fast forward. We can actually just skip at this point. There's still nothing I need from this. I do technically need to raise 20,000 dark quartz. It is purely cosmetic, by the way. Spending that dark quartz in order to Stone Monkey. Interesting. And we don't want Stone Monkey. It's not bad, it's just I don't like it. Werewolf. Nah. Alright, give me my items. Ooh. Really? You're gonna give me Assassin's Dagger and Warrior's Pauldron right out the gate. Alright, those... It gave me 2 rares. I may have used the entirety of the luck for the rest of the run, so I might be having a terrible time in the near future, but... see, Hidden Blade Strike, Fortress, and Brawl. Sorry, lost in thought. Let's grab our blessing. That dude's still doing vague repairs or painting on the side of the castle. I took unnecessary damage there, but it's part of the course at this point. Gargoyle right out the gate. Pass. If that means I have to go into the first boss fight, the first adventure fight with nothing but Skul, so be it. I'd rather not, but... Alright, I guess we're going magical this time. Not entirely by choice. Actually, I've always wanted to run a quintessence build, so let's grab the heart. We'll ignore items. We're going to go into the Skull room, see if there's any upgrades we can grab. Mage. Not exactly what I want. We'll work with it. We have no money. Manatech staff. I'm tempted just to unlock it. Steel Golem. Steel Golem is fun for physical runs. No point in staring at the items that I can't afford. That's a lie. I could have sold the items and gone full magic. We're not doing that, however. Absolute bastard. I don't have a cohesive build yet. This is causing problems. Rake of Fury. No. Unstable Quintessence. No. Skeleton Shield. You know, I've heard really good things about Skeleton Shield whenever he gets actually leveled up. But I don't know. You know, we'll stick the Rake Fury in our pocket and use it later potentially. Let's go ahead and upgrade Mage. The spell they have isn't the best. Like, it can do good magic, but I'd rather have a different spell. Explosion mixed with something else isn't bad, but just Explosion is a little rough. And by a little, I mean exceptionally rough. Remember how I said I wanted to do a Quintessence build and that I haven't picked up any Quintessences? Yeah. there are spikes there. I've never noticed that there are spikes right there until now. It's never been an issue. I mean, if you're offering, I might as well be taking. The game is leaning me towards going melee, so... I'll grab Samurai. Samurai works by normal attacks don't do much damage, but they add a stacking little counter thing, and then you get big lump sum damage after using your special sheath, the single slash. Let's grab the kendo stick. I'm interested, but no. Might be going into rapidity again. Alright, it looks like we're going to take this a moment to... We tried to shift into magic. The game decided that we weren't going to be doing magic today, so we are going to be going back into doing physical. And... Fun fact, it costs 10 skulls to upgrade a 5 skull. And whenever you break down a 10 skull, you get 11 skulls, so... It's interesting. Why do the fighting yourself when you can let the environment take care of it? And really? No, no, no. We're already going into physical. Damn this game. Maybe this time around I'll try upgrading the little Ent into something more usable, because normal Ent isn't very good. I took an amount of unnecessary damage there because I swapped over to Ent thinking like, oh yeah, I'll do something with Ent. Wrong. Alright, Armor of Fear. Good if I were trying to build into Fortress properly, but no. Griffin. Thief. Well, Hidden Blade and Rapidity. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Why not? Building crit and attack speed. Alright, it's in my best interest to not upgrade the Ent and to simply save up and upgrade the Samurai. Because the Samurai is one of those ones that starts at the tier below max, and it takes 100. But I really want to see what maxed out Ent is like. So Ent becomes Old Ent. And Old Ent becomes... Huge Ent. Oh yeah, it's huge. I see Skull's been single for a while. I took I took an unnecessary amount of damage there. That's... Ugh. That's rough. Hi, fellers. D-man, yeah. That freeze everything on screen has actually been fantastic and saved me from a lot of damage. I need some cooldown reduction, though. Like, I need it really bad. Balrog! Lord of Hellfire, transform into the Balrog for 20 seconds, dealing physical damage to nearby enemies. I'm tempted. I'm tempted more than you know. Could take Heritage. This also gives excessive bleeding. The Imp Trio. But Balrog. But I need to save him. But I need to unlock it. Alright. Alright then, that's... Secret Third Skull. Nice. The damage isn't actually that good, it's just very widespread, so this seems like it wouldn't be bad for, what's it called? Crowd clear. Group shenanigans. Well, that's just a lot of physical damage. Oh, that's unfortunate. It doesn't count its own purchase. Sad boys. I'm gonna use Ent for a second here. I say as I mess up spectacularly. Gargoyle. Yeah. We need to collect bones. We actually do really need to upgrade skulls. Ghoul! I am tempted, Ghoul, my friend. Go double power. Ghoul is very, very strong. But we're not doing Ghoul. Ghoul is the macaroni and the cheese. Wow, I ate a lot of damage in that fight. Ugh. I mean... yes. Also, Balrog performed significantly better than I'd expected it to. I want none of these. Although this is one of the things I was looking for previously. I was also looking for the trainee's necklace. Because concentration speed was how fast I got my mana back. Well, not precisely. There's more to it than that, but... yeah. I don't care too much. Yeah, no, courage would be nice, but I don't need it. There were so many particle effects I couldn't see where the big boy was. Could re-roll my abilities. The ground slam isn't bad, but the punch is a little mediocre. So let's not. That's a bit more than I'm willing to pay. If it was 190, I would, but 230 is just slightly over budget, if you know what I'm saying. Rider. I could go double speed. I've already invested in the Ent, and I do want to see what Ent looks like at the end of the day. Like, what full Ent looks like, you know? Chef Special. Manatech Staff. Ogre. A lot of Manatech stuff. Defensive wheels, interesting. Could start going into Oberon. This does give a point of rapidity, so I would get that amp damage. But what would I get rid of it for? Actually, it's looking like I'd have to get rid of Warrior's Pauldrons. Metamorphosis. I'm down to 69 money. Nice. Water Skull, no. Man, that's powerful. Genie! No. Alright, we're going against the twins. I'm not liking my odds too much. Ah. Oh, I died. That's unfortunate. My build isn't spectacular right now. Maybe it's because I'm just not playing Ent right. I'm not very good with them. I don't really use them. They've always been far too slow for my tastes. Well, if you're gonna offer me Rapier, that's really hard to turn down. Blood Drinking Sword is also good. That stacks up some good damage. Also has crit on it. It's also arms. But this is the only place I know of that you can get the gold main rapier, so we're gonna get the gold main rapier. It's a shame to get rid of that armor, but it's probably a terrible decision to take the gold main rapier, but we're doing it anyways. Alright, looking at my build, I have rapidity and hidden blade. Alright, anything you can give me here can be great. Interesting. That gives me strike 2 and another thing of hidden blade, but more importantly, more crit, attack speed, and movement speed. Alright, so I need to... Unfortunately, I need to dump the Ent, because I need to go full speed ahead. Crit rate 40%. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. No, we're not doing that. This, however, this seems good. Rake of Fury has a prerequisite on kills, so we're going to dump this. And we're going to take the Hunter's Wooden Longbow. Increased crit damage. Yes. We can probably dump... Yeah, Might be able to dump Broken Dagger for something else. Right, we need to go Skulls. The biggest problem I have sometimes is not being able to see those Ents. Like, sometimes they really do just get pushed into the background and you just don't notice them. Also, are you serious? Great Warlock? Again? Oh, there's Rake of Fury again. Lunar Ring. No. Hidden Blade and Misfortune. That's an interesting prospect. Yeah, no. No. No point in re-rolling. I am hemorrhaging the HP. Skul. Yes. Aye, the gargoyle is interesting. Not exactly happy that I gotta get rid of the Ent. Because I wanted to see what maxed out Ent looked like, but the cards have dictated that I'm not running a power build. So what do you got? I don't have enough money for you. Nope. Predator. It may be power, but it fits the build, the situation more than Gargoyle does. All right. Oh, dodged right into that. Damn it. Antique and health and physical, alright. Not doing mage. Grab the soldier and grab our blessing and get moving. Alright, we've started with Assassin once again. Oh, do I want to grab this and try to make a shield build work? No. What? No. No. Stop it, Horatio. You're never gonna make it work. hate these sakura tree ants. They're very annoying. No, we're good. Alright. It's a big chest. Magic? No. Well, I guess we're taking that. Look, all you have to do is not take damage. Ah, I don't have enough. It's Doomsday once again. Slime is invulnerability, so that's very interesting to see. None of these call out to me. Crit rate is nice. Broken Dagger is always a pleasant thing to see so early on. Alright, we're gonna grab Ryder. And we're gonna go. No, we're gonna go. What a terrible first encounter. It had to be the flying. It had to be the one that flies. Land. Land so I can run you over. Magic, ferociousness, that's troll, and water skull. We take the bones, we ignore, and we move on. Alchemist. That's really good. We are committing a little bit of vehicular manslaughter. I promise, it's nothing personal. Metal box, a box of metals. One of them appears to be missing. Orc. Kendo stick. I don't have a build. Could buy two. One reroll. What do we get? Well, the acceleration sword is not awful. Really, game? This is spectacularly bad. Oh, we'll grab Orc. We'll grab the metal box and... Well. We are here for the unlocking of items, after all. It really wants me to go Oberon. Stop giving me just all of the goddamn fairy tale stuff. Alright, we're taking the standard issue Carleon sword because that's just straight physical damage. We can't go for a skull, so we're going for... What is this room? Can I get off the bike? Please? There we go. Bone and execution. Blade strike. Fortress heirloom. We're gonna grab the prince's box, because that's just stats. The insignias it rolled with this time around aren't great. So we'll be looking to get rid of it so it can come back with different insignias. Oh. What a terrible night to exist. Alright, we're going to take this masterpiece because we already have a masterpiece, and we want to max out masterpiece as quickly as possible. And we're not upgrading Mummy. I don't plan on keeping Mummy. Alright, do you need upgraded? You do. I can't believe we're going fucking Ghost Rider, but Ghost Rider we are. So what do we got? The Skull always carries the Hellbike skill based on smooth speed, increase crit rate by up to 30%, leave a blazing trail dealing magic damage. Hellbike chain grab. Well, they're gonna offer me Clown, I'm gonna take Clown. Alright, so what do you got this time, Royal Family Man? I profit from this, but I dislike you immensely for even deigning to try and give that to me. Check the merchant. Alright, recognize that. That's Masterpiece, so we're gonna want to grab that. And that's all we're doing here. Good, great, excellent. Moving on. Wait for them to pass. I don't know why there are two of them there. It's a little weird, but... I'm not here. Nothing to worry about, Mr. Guard. Alright, it looks like if there was anything else here, I missed out on it because I completed the objective. Well, that gets me Balrog. And, fun fact, I'm not taking Balrog. Mmm, tasty. Not having the best luck right now. We'll take Vampire Fang. Can you move away from there? Thank you, thank you. That's all I needed from you. Ghoul! They're offering me Ghoul yet again. I'm so tempted. However, no, we're not ghouling it up today. Wow, it's really easy to defeat the adventurers with vehicular manslaughter. Oh, that was great. We really need the bones. We could upgrade Clown, but we're not going to. I'm going to get the biker all the way to max, and we'll move from there, yeah? I've seen the light of vehicular manslaughter. Charred Jemadar. Yeah, that's an unlock. We'll grab that. Neat, don't care. Grab that. I want to grab the solar blade as well. So yeah, we're gonna drop the Prince's box. The runes on it aren't very good, so. And nothing of note. We don't want to waste any more additional money. Do we want to grab Medusa so we can break it down and eat it? No, we're gonna save up next shop and really push for masterwork. We take the macaroni and cheese because I hate this room. I was never very good at getting through it. We need bones, so we... Spectacular, isn't it? Gonna be honest, I saw the... Oh boy, what do we got? Great Warlock. Why? It's really good, but why? It's not in my build. I saw the couch below the platform, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this will be fine. I forgot that couches are bouncy in this place. Alright, this is where I deal with the twins. 69 bones. Walking into the sisters. Nice. Laughs in maneuverability. She died quickly. Fantastic. No, they basically died in the same spot. Hope Slasher. And Infinite Bone. We could take the gold main rapier again, but we don't need it this time around. Hope Slasher is an interesting pickup, though. I bumped my mic. I apologize. Alright. Physical tactics. I'm one piece away from... Masterpiece, so we can't get rid of any of them yet. We don't have enough bones to upgrade our Ghost Rider yet, so we get to ignore the spider once again. Tidings, Spider Lady. It is good to see you. Hey, if the game's gonna give me an opportunity to use the arrows, I'm gonna use the arrows. Alright, so the motorcycle works really well. It's a little unwieldy, but that's absolutely fine. Masterpiece. Okay, that's got Brawl on it, but I don't have anything with Brawl. So we're just going to replace that real quick. Alright, so things got masterpieced. What do we got now? The Champion's Belt instead of Fighter's Belt. Every nearby enemy. 120% attack speed by the... Ooh, interesting. This is very situational. It will only give me 12% in the final fight because the man is alone. This is fun. Sheer meme potential. This is fine. This is fine. I have very lackluster masterworks this time around. Alright, what helps us the least? I genuinely think the Fighter's Belt. Last reroll. Yeah, that's disappointing. The metal box. Oh, right. So that's actually giving me some dividends. Nice. I have the three swords of plus to physical damage, which is funny to me. And that's 20%. Yeah, the Champion's Belt is just not good enough. It is worst in slot. It's good if there's a bunch of enemies nearby, but... like... That's it. That does not help against any of the bosses. Like, it might help against, I guess, Chimera, but... I guess if I was stacking Brawl, it would be better. We'll grab Flame Dragon. Yeah, we'll use Flame Dragon over Orc. Orc is really, really powerful, but I'm scared of the double damage. We go for bones. That man just walked to his own death. Oh, that shouldn't be funny, but it is absolutely hilarious. Frost Skull, that does give a nice amount, but we're ignoring it. Laughs in hunter's boots. Werewolf. We have double speed, and I've already maxed out Werewolf previously. So we're... No, I should have taken Werewolf and scrapped Clown. Whoops. I took a lot of damage there because I just played super sloppy. Ghoul? You really gonna give me Ghoul? Stop, please. Ghoul is really, really good, and it's really tempting every time I see him, but... Alright, it's a shame I don't have the 100 bones required. I could upgrade Clown, but we're not doing that. I would have had enough if I had swapped out Clown for Werewolf, and then scrapped Clown. Oh, all right. We got a trap room. What's on offer? Adorable. The shop. Maybe we can get the lunar ring. There's something for sale, but I can't afford it since I've spent all my money. Pot of Greed. Does it allow me to draw 2 additional cards? Legendary Skull Quintessence, an item, increases physical attack and magic attack damage by 30%, stacks up to 120. Reach the maximum limit of the... This effect grants you 1 random legendary item. Ooh. That's good. Especially since... Yes, yes. Gunpowder sword can be very, very good on ranged things. I mean, it's also just good in general, but... I am tempted. But what would I get rid of? I guess I could drop the toxic pendant and drop the heirloom. Could drop the Carleon sword. The Carleon sword, but, no. I'd need to drop one of the masterpieces, but I don't want to do that in case I find, you know, another masterpiece. And I don't like re-rolling for 1,000. That's good, the DC cake. I am tempted, but no. It's better if we don't. This is the easiest I've ever had this room. Alright, I'm gonna sacrifice some health to get a skull because I really need the bones. Gargoyle. I believe that's the same as clown. Yeah. But gargoyle is exclusively magic, so we're gonna keep clown, drop gargoyle. None of these get my interest. The Bone of Madness might be interesting. I'm not building for Brawl. Neither does this. Ow. I'd like to level up Clown. Prisoner. It's far too late to take Prisoner. Prisoner can be very, very good. But, yeah. No. You need to get Prisoner, like, early on. Start stacking up your buffs and whatnot, and then just keep them high. Alright, so I wonder how this is gonna go. Full disclosure, my plan is to hop on the motorcycle, drive directly into the Chimera's chest, and then hit the item. Took some damage, lost the effect of my statue, but this is fine. One ring. No. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Nope. Water spirit. Why does the game so desperately want me to go, go for Oberon? This looks like it could be interesting. When entering a map, increase damage received by 8% in physical tech by 30% every 15 seconds, up to 40% and 150%. This seems like it could be very, very strong, but very, very dangerous. And I'm spectacularly dumb, so that's not exactly what I want in my life. This would be good if I would bleed build, but I'm not bleeding right now. It's weird to do that when there were 2 legendaries there, but... well, here we are. Upgrade the biker. Woo! Max level biker. Let's see what it turns into. I've never actually seen this before. Man, with each upgrade, it looks like he's T-posing more and more. Nightmare. So, we've still got Hellbike and Chain Grab on swapping. 1 second, dealing physical damage. Yeah, this magical damage is still just here. Oh, yes. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I can cancel Hellbike early now. I should have upgraded the clown. I'm a fool. A charlatan. A knave. Alright, so this is where things are going to get really hard, because this map likes to... well, not this map, but this area in general. Oh, that's hilarious. I hate to say it, we need to leave the halfling in the cage. I could play fair, but playing fair is for clowns. And I'm not playing as clown at the moment. Ryder has got to be one of the greatest experiences so far. I've not been so happy in a while. Joke's on you, I can dodge you to death. Ow, my bones. I don't think I'd have any debuff yet, but... Skul? No. We can't check items. Wee. Holy Hero Sword. No. Holy Hero Sword would be good if it wasn't for the fact that I'm literally just use ability that doesn't count as dashing and then just call it a day. Like, don't get me wrong, it's very good. It's arguably better than the standard issue Carlian Sword, but... it has a, what's the term? A prerequisite. You don't just have it. Gates of the Netherworld. Alright. Roll for initiative. Hey kid, I'm still not helping you. It's really a shame, and it's incredibly messed up that I have to not help the halfling girl, but... I now have a reason to help the halfling girl. Predator. I like Predator, but... Give me the flower, child. Not the worst it could have given me. We go for the bones. I wonder if Gargoyle could make it up there without using this. Warrior. Cleanse, and this is going to be an adventurer fight, but it's going to be a souped-up adventurer. Ah, it is the Thief. The Thief is actually really dangerous for me because he doesn't stun lock as easily. I forgot he actually throws them all the way across the arena in that phase. Hemorrhaging hit points in times when I really, really shouldn't be. Oh, Shadow Knights. Is it worth it? What do I have? Flame Dragon. Why not? I have exactly 100, which isn't enough. Oh well, it's fine. Yeah, that's the problem with the motorcycle. It's hard to control. Not looking forward to the fact that I have to eat in the shop, but it is what it is. Really? The one ring. One ring to rule them all. One ring to bind them. I lose heirloom, which is heartbreaking, but necessary. Why? Because the ring is that good. At least I believe it is. I'm gonna grab the piece of DC cake. It's only a slice. It's okay. Blood drinking sword. This can become very powerful once you max it out. It becomes the, what is it? Blood something sword. Nope. Nope. The axes are for power skulls. I could use them on something else, but no. And no, we'll grab this guy and sell him for the max HP. Yummy. I hate map hazards. They're so annoying. Really? I want none of these, but it hurts my soul so much. Oh, baby. This almost makes me want to try and manipulate it to give me a second one ring, but, what are you turning into? Wait a minute. Skill cooldown speed 270. Yes, I know I'm losing out on courage, but 390. So I've got max courage because physical. Masterpiece is at 4. In case I find another one. Treasure's at 2. That's for courage. That's for courage and arms. It's a shame it's the wooden statue of the wood statue of horror. I probably would have taken like any of the other ones. Really? You're gonna give me Grim Reaper at the end? Good old Grim here is a magic skull, so it's useless to me right now as I'm built entirely physical, but... it is interesting, nonetheless. Alright. 88 seconds. Fun fact, one of the reasons I'm so against doing an Oberon run is because, one, it's very, very easy. Oberon is very powerful. And the other reason is that Oberon can break. He can just turn off and he can hang out at the start of the map. I don't know what causes it. I have a feeling it has to do with one of his abilities. But I can't be sure. Ah, stuck. Using the motorcycle in this arena is a terrible decision, and I shouldn't have done it. But I did. Victory belongs to me and the clown. Also, oof, ouch, my bones. That's masterwork. Mane of the Beast King, Wisp. Hey, look, another spirit. Flame Dragon. Oh, no. Alright. Absolute Mithril Gear. Dash attacks increase physical attack damage by 8% for 6 seconds. Stacks up to 80%. Maximum limit. Effect. Decreases damage taken and increases physical damage by more. Carleon's Sword is the weakest link. Which is... well, no, it gave me 4 courage. Amplifies 45% for 10 seconds. I could drop the Wooden Statue of Horror. The Wooden Statue of Horror does not synergize with Great Sage's Time. But at the same time, I like the increase in cooldown. The increase in attack speed is... well, no. Yeah, let's get rid of this. We're going full physical. Oh yeah, this gives us 2 in chase for increased dash cooldown. Man, that is noticeable. Upgrade Clown to their final form. Oh hey, it's me. He is literally T-posing. The Joker. Everyone was happy, except for one. We still have Jack-in-a-Box and Peekaboo Knives. I wonder if you can tell what my entire build has been focused around this run. Like, oh, I've got Joker now. His damage isn't great. Switches over to Speeds McGee. Yeet. Ooh, Forbidden Sword. That's something I need in my life. Get in my belly. This is basically worthless now, but I want to get it so that it's unlocked. Did I? No, I didn't. I'm gonna eat. And we can have guaranteed crits. Is there anything that has an on-crit effect? Not really running anything there. A little bit of extra health to get me through. Oh god, I missed the wooden statue already. Look at that cooldown time. Ah! I may have made a terrible mistake getting rid of the wooden statue of horror. The bread and butter of my damage is now on a very long cooldown of 40 seconds. Oof. I severely underestimated how much the statue was helping me. Well, if I die here, it'll still be a proud death. What's wrong, buddy? Have trouble keeping up? Behold my power! Alright, phase 3. I'm sorry, old man, but, vehicular manslaughter knows no age. good night. I should have waited for my cooldown and then rode out of there on the bike, but... Total damage, 438,262. Ah, fun. Alright, so that was some Skul. I stayed quite a bit longer than I should have, but yeah, full disclosure, Skul is the game I normally play whenever I'm not streaming. Like, whenever I'm just chilling out with my friends and whatnot, this is normally what I'm doing. Though that's only been recently, as I have a grand total of 23 hours in the game. And, yeah. If Skul looks interesting to you, it's available on Steam. It is very cheap. It was on sale recently. It might still be on sale. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by. Remind you to leave a follow. There's a Discord, there's a Twitter, there's a YouTube for where the VODs are. This VOD will be posted there if you're watching on YouTube. Hey, how you doing? Come hang out on Twitch, I promise. I'm nice. Sometimes. Alright, have a good morning, evening, good night.